Hi guys, and welcome back to our fourth lesson in our fractions topic. Today you can see we are looking at mixed number fractions. So we are learning how to convert mixed number fractions back to top heavy, so doing the opposite from our last lesson. You'll know that you've been successful today if you can identify what a mixed number fraction is and use the rules for changing to an improper fraction correctly. So, if I said that I had 2 1/4 cakes, how many slices would I have altogether? So here I'm going to assume that a slice of cake is that 1/4. So what we would need to do then is see how many quarters I've got in each cake. So that's me split that cake into a half, then into quarters. Let's do the same again on this one. So I've got 4 quarters in that cake. I've got 4 quarters in that cake and 1 in our extra 1/4. So if I add all of them up together, that's going to be 4 and 4 is 8 and another 1 is 9. So that tells me that we've got 9 quarters all together because we've got 4 quarters, 4 quarters and a quarter. That's okay if it's 2 1/4 cakes, but what if it was something like 22 3/5? That's going to be a lot of cakes to have to draw out here. So there's a much easier way that we can do this. To convert from mixed number to top heavy, I always take my whole number and multiply it by that bottom number. 2 times by 4 is 8, and then we add on whatever is at the top. So take my 8 and add my 1 to give me 9. So that tells me that I've got 9 of these slices when they're split into 4s. And again, like our last lesson, remember I said our denominators have to match each time. So we had 2 1/4 and I've finished with 9 quarters. So they match every time. If it were me doing the question, and I was okay with doing 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9, I could just go straight to my answer. I have drawn this working at the side just so that you can see the steps that I've done. If it makes you more comfortable to show this working here, do that. But remember to always write it as your proper answer. So in this case, we had 9 quarters. Some more examples then. Well, the first thing we've got to do is our 3 times 5. So 3 times by 5 is 15, and then we are going to add that too. So 15 plus 2 is going to give me 17. So overall then, that is 17 fifths. My 5 and my 5 match up. This time then, I'm doing 1 times by my 7, which is just 7. And then 7 plus my 4 is equal to 11. So my answer is going to be 11 sevenths. And then our last example then, 10 times by 6 gives us 60. And then that 60 plus the 1 is just 61. So 10 1/6 is actually 61 sixths. Okay, I want you to pause the video and give these 3 examples a try, and then come back and check your answers with my working. Okay, hopefully we gave that a good go. So 1 times by 5 to start us off is 5, plus my 2, so 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. So my answer then is 7 fifths. Then I've got 5 times by 3 is 15. And then 15 plus that 1 is 16. So my second answer should be 16 thirds, 16 over 3. And then lastly, 9 times by 8 is 72. And then 72 plus my 3 from the top there is going to be 75. So 9 3/8 is actually, 75 eighths. sometimes we can be asked the questions in a more wordy format, and you'll see that some of the questions in our exercise today look like this. So I wanted to do a couple of examples to show us how to answer this. So bags of sweets are filled to 1/4 of a kilogram. How many bags of sweets can we fill with 2 1/4 kilograms? So really, this is a fancy way of asking you to convert this into an improper fraction so we can find out how many quarters we've got. So 2 times by 4 then is going to be 8. And then plus my 1, 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. So that tells me then that we have got 9 quarters. So I'm looking at how many quarters I've got with 9. So we can fill 9 bags. Going to do the same here. So if we were to fill 1/4 of a kilogram bags with 1 3/4, well, 1 times by 4 is 4. 4 plus that 3 is 7. So that tells me I've got 7 quarters. So I'm taking my top number and saying that we would need 7 bags. Lastly, I've just got 4 kilograms. But really, that's 4 and no quarters. If it's 4 full kilograms, we've got no extra quarters. So I'm just doing 4 times by 4 is equal to 16. And then it would really just be that 16 plus no extras, 0 quarters. So it's still just 16. So 4 kilograms is the same as 16/4 kilograms. So I would need 16 bags in total. Oops. Okay. So as you can see here, we're using our chili rating again, and question 1 is just the straightforward going from a mixed number back to top heavy. For question 2 and 3 in our medium section, that is like those last examples there, so you might find you need to come back and watch that a couple of times if you're attempting your medium questions. And then our hot rating, I've gone for something a wee bit different today. I wanted us all to see how we're getting on with our mixed number and improper fractions. So here you can see that we've got a code along the top, so each letter is worth a different fraction. So A is 3 2/5, B is 2 4/5, and so on. You can see here it says convert mixed to improper or vice versa. So that just means that whatever fraction is in the top row of each of the tables at the bottom, you need to swap. So our first one here is top heavy, so we need to make that mixed number. The next one's mixed number, so we are making it top heavy. And it's really important that your answers must be in their simplest form, so always check, have you simplified? You then need to link your answer to the table above to answer the question, why the police officer had a sheet of very thin paper. So your letters, once you've worked out your fractions, your letters should then spell out a sentence, and it's just a wee maths joke here. And what I would like you all to do is send me an email with it if you do answer this question. But don't worry, I'll repeat that in our Teams chat. So just as an example, if we did the first one together, my three halves, well, 2 goes into 3 1 full time with 1 left over. So that's going to be 1 1/2. And if I have a look, 1 1/2 is the letter T. So that would be my first letter. So you are going to work your way through each of these, fill in each of the letter spaces, and see if you can come up with the answer to why the police officer had a very thin sheet of paper. Try your best, let me know how we get on in our Teams chat, and I will see you in our next lesson.